Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and this is my channel, Her Pacific Northwest Washington Life. And today we are kicking off the week 31 reading vlog. And I only had one book to carry over from last week, which is nice. I did finish up The Tattooist of Auschwitz last night by Heather Morris. And I'm giving this a 3-star rating. So I was listening to this on Scribd, and the audiobook ended in the middle of, I think, chapter 27, maybe. And it was just the most random ending. It was at the end of a sentence in the middle of a chapter. So thankfully I have the physical book. So I read the last like 25 pages physically. And then went on to read the note that was written by Lale and Gita's son, as well as just kind of the insights and interviews section from the author, Heather Morris, and gained a bit more information. So for those of you that don't know, this story is based off of Lale and Gita's experiences in Auschwitz and Birkenau in Poland during, obviously, World War II. They were both Jewish people from Slovakia and were put in. So when Lale went in, he and Gita went in 10 days apart, I believe. But when the concentration camps had started, they separated the men and the women. Actually, I think that's how they were mostly. With like women and children and then men separated. Anyway, though, so when Lale was first sent to the concentration camp, his family was given a choice to send one child to a work camp. And then obviously that's not what it ended up being. Obviously, way more people got sent. And things like that. So Lale had volunteered himself to go. And while he was there, I don't want to say he moved up the ranks, but he started out as a laborer, and then he became the tattooist. So he would tattoo all the new inmates, I guess he would say. I mean, it was essentially a prison, the numbers on their forearms. And through that, he had a couple more privileges, I guess, than most of the other people in the concentration camp. So he basically, with his tattoo bag, had a sort of safety blanket around him. It got him extra rations. It got him into places that wouldn't have allowed other people. And with that, he really helped out the other people in the concentration camp by getting them extra food. He had this network of the women who worked in I think it was called the Canada, which to my understanding was essentially, I guess, when people came into the concentration camp, I assume they would sort through all of their bags and belongings, and I don't know what would happen to them, but they would find money and jewelry and things like that, and they would kind of smuggle those to Lale so that he could pay a worker and his son who were building one of the, I think it was one of the gas chambers, to bring in things like chocolate and meat and other things that he wouldn't have been able to get, so that he could help distribute that to other people within Auschwitz and kind of help keep them as healthy as possible and things like that. So it's really just his story that he actually told to Heather about what his experience was like and surviving that and things like that. I've heard that the author takes liberties with this story. I don't exactly know what those liberties are. I just kind of read it as it was. A little bit of it seemed to be kind of far-fetched, but obviously I wasn't in a concentration camp during World War II, so I really don't know what the experience was like. So maybe people with a lot more knowledge and in like the historical sense of what happened during World War II would be able to point out the, I guess, flaws within this story, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it was a really interesting perspective to read from. You don't typically get to hear from the perspective of anybody who was in a concentration camp, so I thought that was interesting. But yeah, overall enjoyed it. Tough to read in parts, but I'd say a good book overall, and it's really short, so if you're interested, I'd say pick it up. The book I have carrying over is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, which is the first book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. Last week I only read one chapter, so I need to get going on this. I just haven't. I never read this series when I was growing up, so this will be my first time reading through it. And I'm hoping to read all of them this summer, but we'll see. And then other than that, I started The Caged Queen this morning on Scribd, the audiobook by Kristen Cicerelli, which is the second book in the Iskari or the Last Namsara series. I don't know how I'm gonna like this one compared to The Last Namsara because we're following different characters and I don't really like this character. And they're painting another character who was in the other story far different than what I had gathered from them or gathered that they would be like in the first book. So we'll see how it goes. It's only like it's just under 11 hours, so I should have it finished up pretty soon. We'll see. Other than that, today it's supposed to be 91 degrees, which is really stinking hot for Washington, so I've already got the house closed up because it was already starting to feel warm outside, and we'll probably pop on the air conditioner here around noon just to make sure we keep cool. So I think that's it for right now. If I have any other reading updates though, I will let you know before the day is out. Good morning. I have a very quick reading update. Yesterday I started reading The Caged Queen and I listened to a fair bit of it. I've got about 8.5 hours left. I think it was just under 11-hour audiobook. So I'm going to get another good chunk of that read today with driving to and from my violin lesson. Skylar left me his car for today since mine is still out of commission for the moment. But he has like his car's newer than mine, so I don't know what it's called, but you can do the whole like talking through the system already in the car, so I'll be able to play my audiobook that way, which will be really nice. But that's going fairly well. I explained yesterday that we're following different characters and I don't particularly like this character. But we're getting flashbacks, so it'll be like the present and then 3 months ago, and then we'll get another section of the present and then 2 months ago. So at some point we're going to get all of the kind of backstory that made this character make the decisions she did and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm so sorry. Every time. I also read a couple pages or chapters in Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I'm at the start of chapter 4 now, and weird things have been happening to Percy. He doesn't know why. He doesn't know why his friend Grover is so concerned with his well-being and why weird things are happening. So I think he's just about to find out. And so that'll be kind of fun. I think we get to visit Camp Half-Blood in this book, so that'll be neat. Yesterday, last week I ordered some books as a birthday present to myself off my Amazon wish list, and I also ordered a set of 25 mild liner. These are highlighters, so they've got 2 tips on them, I believe. Maybe these ones don't. No, they do. So you've got the highlighter, and then the bottom part is like a fine writing pen. So I bought these because I wanted to use them for my school planner that I started setting up yesterday. I bought an Archer and Olive dot grid notebook. I think this one was an A5 size. It's the more page count option. And I started setting up my planner yesterday, just drawing out the first 6 months of my term's calendars. So we've got August through January, and then I'm going to be doing some weekly, hourly spreads. At the beginning, I want to do kind of a vision board with a quote, a financial aid spread. I want to list out what courses I have remaining, and then before the month start, I want to do term notes, so what courses I have planned to complete for the term, and then any additional notes and things like that. So I think I will probably film a video of the setup after I know how this is working well for me, but I've got all these sticky notes with what I want to do written down on them. And then I'm just going to use the mild liners to mostly for like the hourly section, and my monthly section I'll probably have like 3 colors per month to note when I have a call with my student mentor, or whenever I have a call with like a course mentor, when I'm taking a test and things like that. So I hope this works out for me and keeps me on track a little better. My term technically starts on Saturday, though I should be able to get into my portal on Saturday and see all of my classes and things like that, but Monday is when I'll officially have, everything set. And I've got another call with my student mentor at that point to make sure we're good to go. I think I'm starting with global business, if I remember correctly from the email. We're going to do some easier courses, some non-accounting courses to start out. I think I've got, I can check, or I'll tell you next week when I know for sure. But I think I've got like business law for accountants, maybe supply chain management, and then at the end of my term is when we'll plan to get back into accounting 1. Along with my mild liners, I also, like I said, bought myself some books off my wish list. So I will be including these in my July haul that is going up Thursday of this week. But if you didn't want to watch that haul and you want to see what I picked up, I can show you really quickly. I got The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury, which is, I don't know if the book or the movie came first, but I remember watching this movie when I was younger, and I think it used to spook me a little bit, but I thought it would be really neat to read, and then I can also pass this on to my son because it's a middle grade book when I'm done. See if he likes it. I also picked up Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which I want to read in October. I picked up the whole Caraval series. So we've got Caraval, which I've listened to on audiobook, and then I haven't read the last 2, but we've got Legendary and Finale. And then I picked up Dark and Deepest Red by Anna Marie McLemore. I've read all of her books before, except for this one, so I'm really looking forward to it. I like her kind of twists on traditional fairy tales from like a Latina point of view, and just her magical realism is really good. I really enjoy it. I also picked up The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I know a lot of people have been disappointed by, but I'd like to read it and give my own opinion on it. I know a lot of people reread The Hunger Games before they read this, but this is a prequel, so I kind of want to do the opposite and read this first, and then go back and reread The Hunger Games and see if things change. And then I also picked up A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer in preparation for reading this at the end of the year with my friend Darshell over at the channel Books and Planners. We are planning to read probably November and December, A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and then A Heart So Fierce and Broken. And then I believe the third and should be final book comes out in January or February of next year. I've not read any of those books before, but Darshell read A Curse So Dark and Lonely and really enjoyed it. So I'm interested to read it with her and just kind of see how I like the series. I think that's it for the moment. Another work day. So I'm gonna be busy doing some things, and if I have any reading updates, I will let you know here later on in the day. Alright, I just finished filming my July book haul, and as you know, I really like to take advantage of the lights being set up, my makeup being done, my hair being done, all that good stuff, when I can, to give an update. Little Miss FIFA might bonk the tripod, so sorry about that if you see some wobbling and shaking. Whenever I turn on the camera, like when I'm in this setup and start talking, the dogs all of a sudden want my attention, which I don't understand because they could have it at any point. But I haven't read any of Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief in a little bit. I'm hoping to read that tonight. I'm just not feeling motivated. Can you stop booty bumping the tripod, please? I have been listening to a lot more of The Caged Queen. I think I've got something like 4 hours or so left. Story's going well. Be interesting to see how it ends and what the characters do. There's gonna be a big like plot shift here soon, and it'll be interesting to see what happens and how it sets up for the next book. I don't know if the next book follows different characters, but it kind of feels like it's being set up that each book in the trilogy follows different character, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out who it might be, and I think I have an idea, but I don't know. So reading's going well. I should have The Caged Queen done by tomorrow. And I think I'll probably take a little break from reading between the end of July, probably the last 2 days, and the start of the N.E.W.T.s on Saturday, just because I don't want to start something and not be done. And it'll give me a chance to catch up, hopefully, on my to-watch list a little bit more. I did get today's July Geek Gear box, and again, pretty disappointing. I will show you what the items are. I like 2 of them. As always, well, not always. Can you stop licking me, please? I do like the t-shirt this time, which is an Ollivanders t-shirt. I think it says Maker of Fine Wands in 382 BC, which I think is really cool. And the other item I like is this Hogsmeade metal hanging sign replica. So you can kind of see it there. It's a little, maybe it's easier to see that way. There we go. So you've got Welcome to Hogsmeade, and you've got like the outlines of buildings and a pig and things like that, which I'll just have to find a chain and figure out how to hang this. That, let's see, just an exclusive mini metal sign. Then we got another plastic piece. which is Hagrid's wand. I guess out of the other things we got last time, I like this the best. Then we got another chess piece, which this one is a castle, or a rook is what some people call it. I call it a castle. We got another bracelet charm, which is the Ford Anglia this time, which I don't like the bracelet. I don't like the charms. I'm never going to use it, but I really do like the Ford Anglia. And then we got 2 posters. So the first one is exclusive Dementor community artist artwork. This stunning artwork is brought to you by Milton Castro. He can be found on Instagram at Milton Rafael Castro. I think he was an artist recently. I think this is interesting. I'll be honest, I don't like Sirius Black. So this isn't particularly appealing to me. I kind of like the artwork though. It looks like something that would be on a cover, but it doesn't look like something that would be on the US covers of Harry Potter. Kind of reminds me more of like the UK covers. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this piece. It's nice, but I think someone else might enjoy it a bit more than me. And then we also have this, it's called Exclusive Ministry of Magic Mudblood Propaganda Poster Replica, which I feel like people right now are probably going to take some issue with, especially with just what's going on in the world right now, but I don't know, it just says Mudbloods and the dangers they pose. The Perfect Pure Blood Society Ministry of Magic Official Guidelines number 34 says issued by the Muggleborn Registration Commission as referenced to in the decree number 180 L5 Article 24027 of November 1975, formerly known to be the First Ministerial Management of Magical Muggle-Born Behavioral Observation Act number 792 Lima, I don't know what that says, Lima Aelf? It's hard to read from this angle. I think it's an interesting, so I like posters like this versus kind of artwork that has people's faces on it. Like I really liked the, oh my gosh, what were those called? The decrees that Dolores Umbridge put all over Hogwarts in the 5th book. I really like those sorts of things, and like the wanted posters, well, minus like those having people on them. But I like kind of stuff like that that's more traditional, like a prop or a representation of what would have been in the Harry Potter movies versus just artist artwork. That might be the unpopular opinion, I don't know, but I like stuff to represent what I've seen and know, and to have like pieces that were a part of the actual movies or things like that, versus artist interpretations. But I do think this artwork is very beautiful. It's just not my particular taste. But yeah, I'd say this box was better than last month's, but still disappointed. I have to find out if I cancel my subscription, if that's going to cancel the last 4 months that I have it for, or if it will just cancel when I'm done with this current subscription. I don't entirely know, but I definitely don't want to continue getting these boxes. Like, I want what I've paid for, but after that I think I'm going to take a bit of a break because they're just not worth it money-wise to me when you know, you get these cheap little plastic pieces like this. The idea of it's really fun. It just, I don't have much use for it. I'd rather spend the money to get things like potion bottles and other sorts of things like that. So we'll see. But I'm gonna get going now. I do need to edit and upload my video tonight for tomorrow. So I'll be doing that here in a little bit, and then probably hanging out doing some more in my washi swatch book and things like that. So I'll check in when I have another update. I just forgot to tell you the most important thing. It is the stud's 5th adoption anniversary today, and he doesn't even know it. I did a couple years ago a video talking about his adoption story that if I can do cards, I'll link up above. Otherwise, I will put the link to the video down in the description box below. What are you doing, you weirdo? But I rescued Ronan 5 years ago and got him just in time for my birthday. So this day is always very special. And he's gonna get lots of snuggles and cuddles tonight because this boy deserves it. Well, today I received an unexpected half day. Got on and to work this morning, and my manager said, why don't you leave a little early today since it's your birthday? And I was like, well, I mean, I've got time, so I could put in for a half day. And he said, don't put in time, just take a half day. So I stopped working at 10:30 this morning because I start working at 6:30. So I went next door because my car is still out of commission for the next couple of days until we can look at the coil covers. Coils. Something like that. So I walked next door to ask my dad, who is off on Thursdays, if I could borrow the truck to treat myself to a trip to my favorite used bookstore, and I wanted to go to it's like an all-in-one store. It's a grocery store though mainly, but they've got clothing, and I wanted to look at their clearance racks. So I did that after I helped my dad next door at a neighbor's house. He let me borrow the truck. I was gone for about an hour and a half and came back, and he's working on another project with the same neighbor. So I am now sat out on my porch. I've got about a little over an hour, I think, until Sky gets home. So I am going to use the time to read Percy Jackson and see how far I can get. I've also got frozen grapes and not frozen cherries and my water bottle so that I can stay hydrated. And the dog's in the yard with me, so we're just gonna hang out on the porch swing, get some fresh air, and read. At the bookstore, I did find some books. I will show you what I got. I picked up, which one is this? This one is All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. I've only ever read The Road by him before, but this one was in really good condition, sounded interesting. I think it's a modern, someone blurbed it, Newsweek did, as a modern day Western full of horses and gunplay and romance. Which I know there's a Pop Sugar prompt for a Western, so I might use this for that because I don't have any other Westerns. And I also found another book by Cormac McCarthy called No Country for Old Men, which I think might be on my Amazon wish list. So this is a book I wanted to pick up anyway. And they had it in the same edition, but it was a little more beat up, and I really like this edition. So normally I would go for matching ones for the same author, but that's okay. This I think will be pretty interesting. Another really good condition book. My local used bookstore, they sell books for half of the cover price, and then if you have credits through them, like if you trade in books, you get half off of your total. So I bought 4 books for just under $16. All the Pretty Horses was $6.75, and No Country for Old Men was $8.25. I also picked up a book because I think Tara from Buzzword Books had just mentioned she was reading this. So I got The Bookshop by Penelope Fitzgerald. I've read The Blue Flower by her before, but nothing else. And this is really, really skinny, so I thought it would be a good read. It's about a woman who is a widow, and she inherits, oh, with her small inheritance, she opens a bookshop. It's the only bookshop in the seaside town of Hardborough. And I think there's lots of things that go on, like the town's not very happy about it, or like the other shopkeepers aren't, and I think she somewhat brings them together in a way. This one was, if I can get to it, it was $5.25. And then the other book I found, I was really happy to find, which I know for sure is on my Amazon wish list. I heard about this book from Berna over at the channel Berna's Bookish Adventures. She is a Turkish booktuber that I found recently, but she has been doing a series of books I want to read because I've seen a movie or TV adaptation for them, and this book's chunky, so let me switch it around. She mentioned The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick, which is the movie Hugo is based off of this. This is a chunky book. I had no idea it was this big, but it's actually fairly short. You've got lots and lots of illustrations within this. Sorry, it's heavy. And then the pages with text. Let me find a good one. Are, careful with my water bottle, are like that. I'm sorry if you heard that clicking. That was Aoife just biting the tripod. So I feel pretty good about this book haul. I'm really excited about it, and I'm ready to reading. So if anything else exciting happens tonight, I will definitely let you know. Alright, I'm gonna try and make this a quick update because the fan's on and I'm sure that's pretty loud. I finished The Cage Queen earlier today and I gave it a 3-star rating. I did not like it as much as The Last Namsara. I just like the characters a lot better in the other story, and I like the plot of that a lot better. This one, the dragons were present, but they weren't a main focus point, which I kind of wanted more dragons. This one just dealt a lot more with the politics and things like that. So it was alright. I'm intrigued to see where the story ends. I think it's going to be a story that, or a trilogy that follows different characters each time, so I'm not sure who the Skyweaver is going to follow. I had a prediction that it was going to be someone from this story, but it wasn't, so I don't know who it's going to be this time, but it'll be intriguing to find out. And to wrap that up, it'll be nice to start and end a series in the same year within just a couple months of basically picking up the first one. I am currently reading Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief today. I've had to read over half of this today, and I have 75 pages left. And I'll be honest, middle grade really isn't my thing, and we're following 12-year-olds in this book. And I'm trying really hard to just think of it as a fun fantasy mythology story and not think too much about like the actual plausibility of 12-year-olds trekking from coast to coast. Hello. Good night. I'm not going to sleep yet. I'll say good night before I do. Love you too. Not the plausibility of kids trekking from East Coast to West Coast, fighting monsters that one of them doesn't even have training on because he just found out like 2 weeks ago that he was a half-blood. But it's been fun. There's been lots of little shenanigans, lots of little things. They keep falling for the same mistake multiple times where they will trust someone and then it turns out they're a monster. And then like they'll get to a next location and trust someone else and it's like, oh, this person's not good too. Skylar just came in and said goodnight. It's 9:45 right now, which usually we're both asleep by this point. So I'm gonna really struggle to stay awake and finish the last 75 pages. I was out on the couch reading because he's playing video games. And I was starting to fall asleep on the couch. So I moved to bed, which seems like it would be counterproductive and I would actually fall asleep more in bed than I would on the couch, but this is where I'm used to reading, so I'm hoping I'll be able to stay awake. One dog followed me, and I've got Ronan hanging out in Sky Spot right now. Eva's still on the couch, but yeah, excited to see how this wraps up. If Percy is able to figure out who stole the Master Lightning Bolt and prevent Poseidon and Zeus from going to war against each other. So I'm not going to check in again tonight. I'm hopefully going to finish this before 11 o'clock. I really want, I need to, and I'm going to, unless I just fall asleep on my book, finish this tonight because the N.E.W.T.s Magical Readathon Year 3 starts tomorrow, and I want a clean slate of books since I've got 17 to finish in the month of August. So gonna finish this, gonna get to reading, and I will check in with you tomorrow on what my N.E.W.T.s TBR is for the rest of the week. There's my little snuggle buddy at the end of the bed. Not even snuggling me because his dad's in the living room, so he's got to keep an eye out for him too. I know. Alright, we're at a little bit of a different angle this morning because I did a flip through of my reading planner towards the start of the year, but haven't really shown you guys how I update all of the different spreads I have. So I figured since I finished Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief last night, we would go through what I do. So this page over here, I am marking in the bronze. I'm using it for cities that actually exist. So we've got like Toronto and Brooklyn and Galway and things like that. Then in silver, it's like fake cities. So things like Rivendell or Lothlorien. We've got Hobbiton and things like that. So I do have a couple more to add in for this. Like I've got the Underworld and Mount Olympus. I've also got Denver, St. Louis, and Las Vegas. So I'll fill those out later. On this page, it is a bookshelf of the books that I've read. So I do use mostly Pilot G2 gel pens in the 0.7 thickness. And then I've got this one bronze, I don't know, whatever that brand is. Slissy? Pentel, that's the brand. So I use silver for audiobooks, bronze for ebooks, dark blue for physical books. This is, you'll see where it comes in later, and then black is just for most of my writing and like my stats pages and stuff. So because I read The Lightning Thief physically, I am going to write that in blue pen in just the next one over. Oops, kind of ran out of room there. And it's just kind of fun to look at this at the end of the year and see just an overview of like, oh, I read a lot of audiobooks. There's lots of silver in there. Or, oh, I read a lot more physical books than I felt like I did. So there's that. On this page is my rating stats. I don't really reference this page too much. But then here is all of my reading goals. So I've got my audiobooks, Kindle books, physical books. These are all the books that I counted up the number I had prior to 2020 starting that I hadn't read yet. And whenever I read one of those formats, whether I, like, it could be a physical book I own that I listen to on audiobook, but because I own it as a physical book, I'll mark it off that way. So I did own The Lightning Thief prior to 2020 starting, so that's another book I get to tick off. These are 25, 25, and then this is 50. So I'm almost halfway with that one. I've already hit my goal of finishing a series. This is actually starting a series, and then visit 30 different countries or places. I'm gonna hit that with Percy Jackson. I'd like to keep tracking this. I guess I'll probably just do it on a sticky note or something. And then these are reading challenges that I'm participating in. So then we move into the monthly pages. I've got July here. I'm just going to add in Percy Jackson. This was 375 pages. I gave it a 3-star rating, and then I need a ruler really quickly. And then just, I'm marking by color again what format I read it in. And then the other column here, we've got one for Facebook and one for Instagram. Those are to mark whether if this counted for one of the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners Flourish and Blot's Facebook group 2020 reading challenges, I'll mark it off when I post it in the group. And then I also have been posting a picture with a little short description on Instagram of every book I've read this year. So once I do those 2 tasks, I'll mark that off. This note is just to remind me this year they're capturing in the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners Facebook group what books we're reading throughout the year, because a little fun thing was like, oh, Peeves went into the library and you know, like, made a bunch of books disappear, so we're adding back those books. So I will go through and add all of my books. And then at the bottom here, I've just got my reading stats that I'll do later. And then a list of the books that I wanted to read over July and August. This one is on here, so I'll just mark that off really quickly. And then we can move on through. So we've got the last half of the year. Then these are my series started pages. So these are series that I had going prior to 2020 starting. These are ones that I didn't have spreads for, and I went through my Goodreads and was looking at basically all the books that I had, or maybe not Goodreads, maybe it was my reading spread. I was looking through something, I was like, oh, I have a couple more to add. And then these are the series I started in 2020. So I do need to add the Percy Jackson series here. I'm just alternating colors, so next color will be blue. I'm gonna write out the it'll be Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan, and then I'll list out all of the books, and then I do these triangles that I'll mark off there. So then we've got 2020 readathons. I've got the N.E.W.T.s for the whole month, and then at the end of the month is the Roll the Dice readathon for the Creating & Co. Facebook book club group. These are the read-alongs I'm doing. These are the challenges we're getting into. I've only got 3 left on this. Favorite season, that one takes place during summer, and summer is not my favorite season. Author's initials, I have 2 initials I can use for the first half of the year. My initials were AF, and I just legally changed my last name with Social Security, so now my initials are AH. Rick Riordan does not fit that. And then related to 20, that does not relate to 20. I finished the spring and summer challenges. I know autumn is coming out at the end of August, so really excited for that. And then this is the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners Flourish and Blots Wizarding World Tour, which is the 2020 challenge for this year. So I've got a book set at Christmas, no, a green dust jacket. Paperback does not have a dust jacket. I finished these three. I'm pretty sure Rick Riordan is not a Russian author, pretty sure he's a US author. This one's not tied to my heritage, I'm not Greek. Finished that, and then it's also not a self-help book. So I'm just gonna put a little dot in this column to know that that book doesn't fit. And then we have the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. Probably doesn't fit anything I have left. Nope. No, doesn't look like it. And then these are how I track readathons. This one works for the Chosen One readathon that is going on in the Harry Potter and the Order of the Planners Facebook group. I'm using it for a book, a green book. So I'm just going to mark this off here by coloring in the little bookends. I did this spread in Gryffindor colors since it's for the week of Harry Potter's birthday, and obviously Harry was in Gryffindor. Because the this actually, I could use Vampire Night for this prompt because it's got vampires in it, obviously. So I might be able to finish almost this whole thing. I'm not going to read a book by Sunday that mentions Harry Potter, unless Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential somehow mentions Harry Potter. And then this is the spread I'm using for the Roll the Dice readathon. There's going to be photo challenges, don't know what those are yet. I'll probably get about 4 books, maybe 3 to 4 books read, so I'm going to mark my dice roll, so whenever my first roll is, what number that lands on, and then when I figure out what books I'm reading, I'm going to write those underneath the prompts. But for now, that's just going to wait. And then, we're not quite ready yet, but at the very back I have all the Magical Readathon stuff. This is my spread for the N.E.W.T.s. I've got these for books that I'm planning to read, and when I get to them I'll rip those off and color them in like I did the Chosen One readathon. But I did start, this is my reading plan, so I did start reading Kitchen Confidential today. I'm about an hour in, and then I'm also going to pick up Vampire Night tonight. So because the Roll the Dice readathon is the last week, and that one's gonna be like up to the fates essentially, I want to try and finish all 17 books I have to read to become an alchemist by the end of the 23rd. So I've got 23 days essentially to read 17 books, which is absolutely insane. I usually only read, I think I read 13 books this month, but I usually only read like 12 books a month. So in order to do that with my physical books, I need to read 115 pages a day. Vampire Night is 196, so I'll be ahead of my goal because I'll be able to start and finish that today. But that's the plan, and I figure here I would mark how many pages I read per day, so that way I would know whether I was falling behind and where I needed to pick up the pace. So right now this is broken out into a 5-week schedule, the first week being today and tomorrow. So I've got Kitchen Confidential and Vampire Night on the docket for this weekend, and then I'll jump into Sky in the Deep once I finish Vampire Night. But basically, because I started Kitchen Confidential, and that is my arithmancy acceptable prompt for Precision is Key to Read a Nonfiction Book, I'm going to take this sticky off and it's an audiobook. So I'm gonna write the title in here, and when I finish it, that's when I'm gonna doodle in the bookends. I try to center it as well as I can, but sometimes that obviously doesn't happen. But yeah, that's basically how I track everything. I've got probably way too many spreads, but I don't know, I like it. I like keeping track of everything separately and things like that. I think it's a lot of fun to mark things off throughout the year. So that's that. I'll flip you around now so I can talk to you with my face. Other than the N.E.W.T. starting today, we in a little bit are gonna go put new coils in my car to see if that'll make it work. And then we're building Maddie a ramp so that he can jump his bike and not jump it on the sidewalk because he tends to crash into people's mailboxes and yards when he does that. So we're gonna do that, and then we might have to run to the hardware store if my dad doesn't have everything we need. And then we'll just celebrate my birthday. We're gonna do stir fry tonight, homemade. Really looking forward to it, using the fresh snow peas from my dad's garden that he's very proud of. And then just hanging out with my parents and my brother and Sky and Maddie, and the doggos, opening presents, things like that. My mom did get me flowers for my birthday. They're very beautiful. Got some yellow Gerber daisies in the back here. So those are, sorry, that was really loud, I'm sure. So those are just sitting on my desk. Also got a card from Sky's grandma and from my friend and coworker Becca, which is a Mad Lib, and I made Becca and my two other friends at work help me fill it in yesterday. And it's funny. It's are you a party girl? Take the quiz to find out. I didn't realize until the very end, because I was too busy reading the Mad Lib, that you're supposed, there's 3 questions and you're supposed to choose A or B to figure out if you're a party girl. I just read through the whole thing and I was like, this kind of doesn't make sense. And then I was like, oh, I'm not following directions. But yeah, so I'm gonna go see if Sky's ready now for putting in my coils, and I will check in with you when I have an update.
Did you end the video?
Did I took a video, yeah.
No, you ran.
Alright, so it's Sunday, and that means the week is over. We've got the first 2 days of the N.E.W.T.s almost down, and guess my birthday week is officially over now. So I'll show you a couple things that I got if you're interested. I got a couple book items. I also got a Fitbit, which I'm really excited about. We'll see if I'm able to like walk a bit more because I think this will definitely help motivate me. Something I really want to start doing is getting up in the morning during the last few months of summer and walk the dogs around on my road, probably like a mile walk every morning, just because by the time the evening hits and the sun sets and the pavement cools to a reasonable temperature to walk on with them, it's already pretty late, and Skylar and I go to bed pretty early. So I want to try and do that in the morning. Make it a habit. Hopefully do like at least 3 days a week. I'd really like to do it 5 days a week, but we'll see. So Fitbit will help with that for sure. I also got a couple books. My mom got me a new plant, which maybe I'll show you in next week's blog. Vlog, not blog. And what else? I got like a 3D Harry Potter astronomy tower puzzle, as well as a really long 1,000-piece Marauders map puzzle. Those are both from Sky's parents. But the books I got, 3 of them were from Skylar's parents, and 2 of them were from my brother. So, first book is The Long Walk by Stephen King. This will be my first Stephen King book that I read. I think it's such a funny size. It's such a weird size. It's like very tall and skinny. But I think there's not a lot of Stephen King books that I'm interested in. But I think this is one I'll be able to handle just because it's not got like scary things like in It, or a demented car, or a rabid dog, or anything like that. This is about a group of people. I think it's 100, yeah, 100 boys who go on this annual walk, and they have to keep a pace of 4 miles per hour without stopping. And it's through a dystopian America, and if whoever is the last one standing gets anything they want for the rest of their lives. So I think it'll be really intriguing. I also got Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. I think this one is kind of sad. And Sky's mom read it and she really enjoyed it. So I think that's why they picked it up off of my wish list. But really looking forward to reading this one and seeing what it's all about. And then the last one they picked up for me was Beauty and the Beast by, the author is, she's got a French name, it's Gabrielle Suzanne Barbeau de Villeneuve. Oh boy, but this one is fully illustrated. It's the complete unabridged original story, and it's got a lot of interactive elements as well. There's like cardboard pieces in between just to help protect the pages, but which I think I'm probably going to leave in the book. But you've got things that like you can spin and like pull out and flip up and all sorts of things. So I think this is going to be a really fun way to read the story. And I've never actually read the original story, but Belle is one of my favorite princesses. And I am thinking about doing a series on my channel where I read the original fairy tale and then read maybe like 5 retellings of that. I also kind of wanted to incorporate some sort of like cosplay into that. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that, because I would really ideally like to do like time period accurate pieces, but that's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of time. So I don't know if I'll just do like a recreation of maybe an outfit from one of the Disney movies, if there's a Disney movie or like a DreamWorks movie or what have you. I haven't fully decided, but the first one I want to start out with is Beauty and the Beast, because I've already unintentionally read like 2 or 3 Beauty and the Beast retellings this year so far. And then the books I got from my brother, I got the Book of S, which I have already opened. This is also an interactive one. So the book inside is called Ship of Theseus, and this one also has interactive elements to it. You've got, the pages look really weathered and stuff, and you've got the actual story, but then there's a bunch of notes from different people throughout, and you get items like postcards that have notes and things on the back of them, and other pull out, like this is just some lined yellow paper, This is a card, all sorts of things, and you've just got different pens, different handwriting, and all that stuff. So this is a book you can read, I think, a couple different ways. You can either read the inside story as is first and then go back and read all of the notes with it, or you can read them both at the same time, what have you. I'll probably read them both at the same time, but yeah, I think this is really cool, and it's going to be really fun to read when I get around to it. Probably, maybe I'll do a like a book diary or a book, I don't know, a dedicated video just to reading this and the process that I went through and all that good stuff. So we'll see with that. But I would like to get to it probably this winter or fall, something like that. And then the last thing that my brother got me was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the illustrated copy, which just has the beautiful illustrations of all the little beasties and things like that. My brother also unexpectedly bought me new spark plugs for my car. So we were celebrating my birthday yesterday, and Skylar was out working on my car, and then our neighbor across the road came over, and then my brother pulled into my parents' driveway. So all three of the guys were working on my car, and after fiddling around with it for quite some time, they decided to pull the spark plugs again. And I don't know terminology for car stuff, but basically there's a little piece of metal on the end of the spark plug that didn't have enough clearance, so it was squished down. So either I put them in and put too much like torque on them, which is probably what happened, or my car just hates me. It's probably the latter, obviously. So we got my car up and running. It's good to go now, but Skylar's over it. He hates my car so much. So we are going to be selling my car, and probably his. And he has his little sporty car, so we're going to get a newer SUV. Don't know what yet, but that's the plan. And so we'll go back down to being a 2-car household. And he will drive my car a couple days a week, since I don't have to drive for work, and the only place I go really is my violin lesson and errands around town. So to keep my car up and running and good and all that good stuff, he's going to be driving my car a couple days a week. So yeah, that's something we'll look forward to doing here soon, is buying a new car. Can't wait. Gonna love having a car payment. But that's pretty much it for this week. As you know, I think I said in yesterday's clip, the N.E.W.T.s started yesterday, and I already got my first book done, which was Vampire Night Volume 6, for my acceptable prompt for herbology, which was to read a book with flowers on the cover. I'm giving this a 3-star rating. I think that's what I've given them all at this point. I really like the direction this story is going. I think things are about to get really interesting in the next couple of volumes. So enjoyed that. That was really quick. I'm halfway done now with Kitchen Confidential. I should probably have that finished tomorrow. And I started reading Sky in the Deep. I'm about 30 pages in. So we'll see how that one goes. My plan is to read about 115 pages a day. I read 225 pages yesterday, so we'll see how far I get tonight. I'll definitely update you first thing on next week's vlog tomorrow morning. Yeah, and I think that's it for now. So I'm going to go ahead and end this so that I can get it edited and scheduled. That way when Sky gets home from dropping off the kiddo, we can play a game or two of Magic and enjoy each other's company this evening. So I hope you enjoyed this week's vlog. As always, I would love to know what you picked up and read throughout the week. So if you feel so inclined, please do let me know in the comments below, and I will chat with you there until my next video. Bye!